Yeah, and I think I think it is the normal seasonal slowdown happening, coinciding with what we're seeing is just a broader, macroeconomic slowdown, and so maybe that means that May caught it earlier, and so it's not going to be worse. It's just it happened earlier. Maybe that's what it means, and we'll see. Or maybe it's this combination of these two really sucky things creating, one super sucky thing. I think that's what we're kind of going to see play out in June, July, August.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Business Lunch with your hosts, my business partner and friend Ryan Dice. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm doing really, really great. Just had a little.
What? This is the intro. You don't get to run into that yet. This is just the obligatory. I'm doing good, thanks, and then back to you. See, that's how we're doing it. I'll try it again. Hey Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm doing so great, Roland. How you doing?
Fantastic. I'm good, and I am your host, Roland Frazier. So it's good to see you guys here with us. See, that worked really well, right? Then I get to introduce you first, so that it's not like I'm introducing myself all the time. And anyway, you guys get it. But we're happy to be here and happy that you are here with us. But in the less than ideal happiness, we have been discussing amongst ourselves and with lots of folks that we know that there seems to be a bit of a downturn in business right now. Ryan, you wanna elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like I believe what we're looking at right now, and I'm hearing this across the board, B2B, B2C. There's a slowdown. If you look at kind of the general macro economic reports. It's one of these things where everybody's like, oh yeah, it looks like the rate of inflation is slowing. And I think that's interesting. Inflation itself isn't going down. The rate of inflationary growth is slowing down. So inflation is still up a bit. It's just not up as fast. But kind of in similarly less good news, it seems like sales overall are dipping. You've got major enterprises, companies that are missing sales reports or recording lower sales reports. I think for the first time in the history of the company's sales force is putting out to the street that they're going to grow less than 10%, which that kind of caused them to fall off like 20% in the value of that company.
Tesla laid off 500 people from their battery division.
Yeah,
you got it's kind of scarily. OpenAI laid off their entire let's watch out for AI taking over the world's division. I mean, did they? Did the AI lay those people off? Who knows, right?
You don't need that. Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned AI because I'm hearing some people say that is a reason that some of these layoffs are happening. They don't need as many people. I mean, I think what you are seeing is consumers and businesses, because debt is so much more expensive, because credit was run up so much, they're just frankly out of liquidity. They're out of capital. They're out of the ability to spend. And so, I have no doubt that will likely cause some rate reduction at some point in the not too distant future. But yeah, I think the next little bit is going to be challenging. I think it's going to be particularly challenging for a lot of businesses who struggle anyway over the summer season. I mean, I know historically, so this isn't you if you're in hospitality. If you're in travel and hospitality, summer's definitely a boom month for you. Summer can be a big month for people who are in fitness and weight loss because everybody wants to get their, bikini bods going and stuff like that. But for a lot of businesses, summer is definitely a slowdown. I know it is for most of our companies. And so, yeah, to see a broad slowdown matched
and
with
generally that's just availability to buy, right? Because most people who have kids are taking vacations in the summer, and so people aren't thinking about spending on things during those months, or they're directing their dollars more toward their euros or whatever towards more entertainment and vacation and family focused things than they are to other things. So they put those off until the fall, and the fall usually is a significant pickup for the last quarter and a month of the year. But this is a little different. It's way early, I think, right? May is when we're having, we're seeing May financials now. We're recording this in June. And those numbers seem across the board to have come in light, pretty significantly light year over year with most of the folks that we've talked with, right?
Yeah, and I think I think it is the normal seasonal slowdown happening, coinciding with what we're seeing is just a broader, macroeconomic, slowdown, and so maybe that means that May caught it earlier, and so it's not going to be worse. It's just it happened earlier. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what it means, and we'll
Yeah.
see. Or maybe it's this combination of these two really sucky things creating, one super sucky thing. I think that's we're kind of going to see play out in June, July, August.
Okay, so now this is not our first summer that we've ever experienced, and we have experienced it for years as a slowdown period. So let's talk about some of the things that we do and some of the things that folks can do generally that might be helpful for them. What are some of the things that you think are really great strategies to help counter the summer doldrums?
So if you're B2B, or even if you're B2C, giving somebody an opportunity to make a decision today that they will act on in the future is one good strategy. So an example of that would be if you have an event or something like that in the fall, and it could be a live event or an in-person event or a virtual one, giving somebody the opportunity to make that investment now with some kind of a discount or some extra bonus. So there needs to be a reason that they would make the investment before they technically need to. But to say, hey, here's something you can do today that will set you up for success later on, people are still happy to invest. They just don't necessarily want to make an investment that is also going to suck up a lot of their time, or that's going to be really extensive and time consuming from a decision-making process. So if you have a complex sale that involves multiple stakeholders, you might want to consider pairing it back to simpler offers right now that can be made by a single stakeholder. Because I know we found that getting multiple decision makers on the phone at the same time at a single company is really difficult right now. Because it's like, oh yeah, I got to get Jim, his take on this, but he's on vacation for the next week. So let's follow up a week from today. Well, a week from today might as well be freaking never, because at that point they're out of the buying cycle, out of the buying zone. So how do we simplify the offer so that it can be made by a single decision maker? And how do we put out offers that people can give them a reason to invest in today, but that they'll use in the future when they have more time? Those are a couple. I got more. What do you got?
Yeah, no. Keep going. Let's riff on it. You're more marketing focused than I am, so I'll lean on you for this one.
So books sell really well over the summer. So any type, and this sounds a little bit different because people would say, well, but books take a lot of time. And you just said, this needs to be something that doesn't take a lot of time. But during the summer, people are looking for more passive, casual forms of consumption. So if you're the type of business that books are an aspect of your marketing strategy, I would definitely be doubling down right now and doing book offers. And I would lean into the fact that, hey, here's a book for you to read on the beach on that next vacation. Go ahead and acknowledge the season that we're in and give them a reason in light of the season to make that particular investment. So books can be a great offer. Also, acknowledging where things are today, but using it as the reason to make the investment. So I'll give you an example. One of our businesses, the Scalable Company, we help businesses upgrade their internal operations, their operating system, really so that the founder, the entrepreneur, the CEO can get out of the day-to-day, focus on the higher leverage, maybe even exit one day. Now, the actual process of getting that done is fairly time consuming. It does require a decent bit of work and effort from the team. Now, we take a lot of that work off in the one-on-one nature of the service offering, but it does still require time. It just does. So what we're saying is use this time, use this season when things would normally slow down anyway, to really optimize your systems to get things dialed in so that when we come in to the last couple of quarters of the year, you're really sprinting into the end of the year when it's your high season. So the reason, anytime you can take the reason that somebody would not buy, and I would think about that. What are the reasons? And if you have any type of sales, if you have a sales team, they're probably collecting these reasons and they don't want to be, but collect all the reasons that people have for not buying now that are seasonal in nature and invert them. make the reason people would not buy the reason they should buy. It might take some creative messaging. It might, require adding some bonuses and things like that. But if you can invert the reason that somebody would not buy, you give your sales team and your marketing team some really great ammunition. That sounds kind of, violent, but the next time they hear that objection, if they can say, oh yeah, I totally hear you, and I hear why that would be a logical reason to not do it. Are you open to why, based on what you just said, now might also actually be the best time to do it? If you can get them to agree that, yeah, they're at least open to the idea, and you present that reason, because they're acknowledging that that is their reality. If you can flip their reason to not do it as a reason to, you don't have to argue with them about, well, what is the reality? They've given you their reality.